Okay, so let's talk about customizable rollups in Nonprofit Success Pack. So what are customizable rollups? Let's uncover this through an example. So I'm going to go to my Trailhead Playground for NPSP. So the story is we have the Simpsons household, remember? We have Homer, Lisa, Marge, Maggie, and Bart. So there will be a field trip, an annual field trip for the school, let's say Springfield Elementary, to go to the Springfield Lake for Lisa's grade. This is an example. So every year there will be a fundraising event, right? And there are many occasions or several occasions or events to fund this field trip to the Springfield Lake. There are chocolate selling chocolate, maybe car wash, and then selling I don't know, lemonade, t-shirts. So now the school would like to know which students has the most influence, and in bringing in the funds for this fundraising for the field trip. Maybe they are going to award the top 5 students who brings in the most fund for the fundraising, so they can go to this field trip. So that is the story. Now, every fundraising event will end up in the opportunity record, right? So if somebody buys a chocolate, it goes in the opportunity. If somebody buys a lemonade, it goes into the opportunity as well. And somebody did a car wash, same thing, it ends up in the opportunity. But then we want to give soft credit to the students who has the influence or who invite these people who end up in the school event doing the fundraising. So to do that, first step is we want to create a new custom field on the contact object. Why? Because we want to see it on the contact level. Alright? So we are following along the example on the trailhead, but it's a different story. We're going to stick with the Simpsons story. So let's go ahead and do that. On this example, they are going to track down the capital fund or something. Where was it? The capital. Let me just search the word capital. Capital campaign to purchase a new building. So this story is for buying a new building. But our story is to go to a Springfield Lake field trip for the grade, I don't know what grade Lisa Simpson is, grade 5 maybe. So it's a different story, but it's the same thing. So first we want to create a new custom field on the contact object to receive the roll-up amount, from those opportunities. So for example, somebody buys a chocolate because Lisa told them there are a fundraising event at the school, and they bought the chocolate, so Lisa gets the soft credit, right? So, but we want to know just the soft credit for this field trip, not for everything else. We just want to know specifically, just for this field trip, how many people or how much funds did Lisa bring into the fundraising event by telling the people she knows. So specifically for that particular event or campaign. Alright, that's the key word. So first things first, I want to create a new custom field on my contact object. So I'm going to go to my object manager, to the contact object here specifically, so we can know how many people Lisa Simpson bring in for this fundraising, right? So go to fields and relationships. We are going to create a new custom field, and I am going to use the currency field and name this Springfield Lake Field Trip soft credit. Okay, so 16.2 and the soft credit this contact brings in for the annual Springfield Lake field trip. Just copy that thing there. All right, so this is the custom field, and let's just say everybody can see it. And I'm going to add to all the contact layout that this trailhead have and save. All right, so that's the first step of doing customizable rollup. First, you need to create a custom field on the object where you want the rollup to go into. In our story, we want the new rollup to go into the contact record, so that we know for a specific contact, in this case Lisa Simpson, you know how much funds Lisa influence other people and they end up giving or buying into the field trip fundraising. So first step, create a custom field on the object where you want your rollup to go into, and then you use that custom field. Okay, first step. Now the second step is we want to go and enable the customizable rollup. That would live on the NPSP settings here. NPSP settings under donations, and then customizable rollup. So here donations, and we have customizable rollups. Oh, actually the second step is actually to create the campaign. The campaign for tagging all the funds received for the Springfield Lake fundraising event. So before we do that, let's create the campaign first. All right, so if I go pop up a new setup window over here, well, actually it's not setup, it's campaigns, which is not set up. So campaigns, I'm going to make a new campaign. I'm going to name it 2020 Springfield Lake Field Trip Fundraising, and make it active. And it's not a conference, it is a other. Status is active or in progress. Start date is August the 2nd. And let's just leave everything as it is. I'm going to save. So we are going to use this campaign whenever somebody do a car wash, or somebody bought an ice cream for the fundraising event, or anything that's going on for this particular fundraising. So we are going to use this campaign. So first step, create the custom field on the object you want to use for the rollup. Second step, create the campaign. Well, at least for this particular story, depends on what you want to do, right, in your own organization. For this story, because we are going to use the campaign, so we are actually creating this campaign. This is not a fixed step. It depends on what you are wanting to do. All right. So we have the campaign. So now The third step is to customize the rollup. So let's go back over here. And over here we have donations and then customizable rollups. There. Well, this is a trailhead. We haven't enabled it yet. I'm going to enable the customizable rollups. Takes a few seconds. Deployment in progress. You can leave this page. The page will reload when deployment is finished. All right. Okay. So it is enabled now. Now we can configure customizable rollups. You can also reset everything to default. If you think you've messed up and you want to just reset, you can use this reset to defaults button. Now let's configure customizable rollups. Click on there. All right, now the first one. See, out of the box, NPSP has 80 customizable rollups, which is a lot, right? There you can see. But on this particular event, we want to know specifically the ones that are related to the Springfield Lake fundraising for the field trip. Okay, so because of that, we want to create a new rollup and a new filter group. So what's a filter group? Let's take a look. So a filter group is where, like you are building a report, it defines what kind of records that you want to calculate. You're filtering it. Basically, it's just filtering like you're filtering a report. So I'm going to create a new filter group now. All right. So I'm going to name this Springfield or Annual Springfield Lake Fundraising. Okay. Now this is super important. The description, it is important here. It is important to enter a detailed description that explains the filter rules in this group so that users in your org can understand if this filter group is right for their rollup. Make sure you take your time, explain what is this rollup for. This filter group is to select opportunities that is linked to the annual Springfield Lake field trip fundraising. All right, so let's stick with that, and I'm going to make this correct. That's Springfield. So let's add the rules. So the rules, the object is the opportunity, the field is the stage, right? The operator equals, and the value is close one. So if it's close one, or meaning the deal is done, somebody bought an ice cream and somebody washed their car and they've paid for it, so it's a close one opportunity, right? Save that. And the second rule is the campaign, the opportunity campaign ID equals, so the campaign equals particularly the actual Springfield campaign here. So where can you get the ID? From your URL on the top here. This is the ID, the Salesforce record ID. Remember, if you've been through the admin trail, get that record ID and put it here. Boom. Okay. So the opportunity campaign has to equal that Springfield, or 2020 specifically, Springfield Lake field trip. All right. So for this particular story, we just have two rules. And remember, this is all-inclusive rule, meaning it's an AND logic. So all the rules here have to be met in order for this to be triggered. So all the rules you define here has to be true in order for this to be true. Okay, there is no custom logic filter like you do on report. There is no custom logic filter, so you cannot do an OR in here. Remember that. All right, so let's save that. So we have a new filter group called Annual Springfield Lake Fundraising. All right, done. So go back to my customizable rollups. Now let's make a new rollup. I'm going to make a new rollup. So the target object would be the contact, right? Because we want to see on the contact record Lisa Simpson specifically, and we want to see how many people Lisa influenced to come into the fundraising event, and then how much soft credit Lisa gets, right? So the target field would be the new field we have created, which is Springfield Lake Field Trip Soft Credit. All right, and we want to active this. This is active. The description is this will calculate how much funds the contact bring into the fundraising event for the annual Springfield Lake Field Trip. So the operation, we want to count. So you can have smallest, largest, first, last, if it's a date or if it's a number. But for this particular example, we want to sum. We want to add them together. We want to add all the credit. So the time frame, so you can choose all time or years ago or days back here. You can choose, for example, if days back, how many days back? If we choose 30 days, so 30 days from today all the way to today is going to be counted, added up together. All right. Or years ago, how many years ago? This year, last year, two years ago. All right. So because this example is for the 2020, I'm just going to choose this year. So we want to sum all the what? We haven't decided. Sum what? The time frame is the year ago, which is this year. All right. And then you can choose, I want to opportunity to contact soft credit. Okay. We want to know all the people Lisa Simpson influenced and what is the soft credit for Lisa. Put it there. So this is what I choose. All right. So filter group. Now we want to filter just the annual Springfield Lake fundraising. All right. So the filter group is the annual Springfield Lake fundraising, which we just created before. So we are going to test this out. Okay, after this we are going to test this out, so you know how it works. So the date field, opportunity, close date, amount field is the soft credit amount. So you roll this up and put it on this target field. Roll this up, okay, put it in this target field, right? The close date is the actual opportunity date. When did the person do the car wash? When did the person bought the ice cream, and so on. And I'm going to save this, and this is already active. In the case that the rollup is active, inactive rollups won't be calculated along with active rollups. So I'm going to save this. And that's pretty much it. Now we have an active rollup that will calculate this particular Springfield Lake Field Trip soft credit. So before we actually do the test, if I go to contacts and if we check on Lisa Simpson here, And if we go to details, we don't have that field yet. We have the soft credit total. Oh, we do. We actually added the field. I did that when I created the field, remember? So Springfield Lake field trip soft credit, it's 0, right? It's nothing. So now let's say let's make a new contact, or let's say who do we have that's not a Simpson household? Mr. Smithers. Let's say Mr. Smithers go to this fundraising event, right? And he actually do a car wash. And he actually do a car wash, and then he was actually referred by Lisa Simpson. All right? So if I make a new opportunity over here, and the amount is, you know, $25 for the car wash, is August the 3rd. The stage is closed 1, and it's the Smithers household. What's the lead source? No, yeah. The campaign has to be the Springfield. So if the campaign is not the Springfield, this soft credit of $25 will not go to Lisa Simpson, because this is the Springfield Lake fundraising. It will. Now we need to actually have a contact role for this to connect to Lisa Simpson. Okay, to do that, Springfield, I'm gonna name this Lake 2020 fundraising car wash, and I'm gonna save. Okay, so now Mr. Smithers just did a car wash at the school, and then while we are creating this opportunity, we ask Mr. Smithers. So I'm gonna go to this opportunity. Hey, Mr. Smithers, who told you to come here? Oh, it was Lisa. Lisa told me to come here, and I want to help with the fundraising. Oh, Lisa? So we are going to add Lisa as an influencer. Add contact roles. I'm going to add Lisa Simpson there. Oh, did I click on it? Yeah. Show selected. Lisa Simpson. And I'm going to hit next. The role is influencer. Do we have influencer? Yeah. So influencer is Lisa Simpson. Now I'm going to hit save. All right. Now because Lisa Simpson influenced Mr. Smithers here to do a car wash, if I go to Lisa's record here, she will have a soft credit credited to her for $25, but it's going to be calculated later, overnight. So it's going to be calculated overnight, so you won't see this like when I created the video. You don't see the soft credit, right, on the previous video, but now it's showing because the customizable rollup is not instant. It takes a background job to complete it, and once the background job is completed, it will show the Springfield Lake field trip. Total soft credit for Lisa will be $25. Alright, so that's basically how customizable rollup works, and we've done the whole example but through our own story, through the Simpson household. So please feel free to read through this, even if you want to go recreate the story over here on your Trailhead playground, feel free to do so. So let's do the quiz together. Which of the following is an example of a single result operation rollup? Largest gift is a single result. Average is a calculation. Total gifts is total. Total is total calculation. So largest or first or last, that is the single operation, which I'm going to show you over here. What is it? Here, copy data from a field on a single record. So if you want to know what is the largest fund that Lisa brought in, you can use the largest. That is a single operation, not calculating the whole thing, right? So what needs to be completed before you can create a new customizable rollup? Delete? No. Disable? No. Here, create a unique writable customized or custom field. That's what we did for the Springfield Lake fundraising soft credit. Okay, that's pretty much it. Feel free to replay the whole video to catch the story better so you understand the whole thing. I'll see you on the next one. Bada bing. Oops, let's get the point first. Bada bing, bada boom. Hit that subscribe button and explore new trailhead grounds and learn to implement the most useful and popular apps on the Salesforce App Exchange. And do yourself a favor, like this video, and you'll be surprised on how much more you understand when watching this same video after liking it. Don't take my word. Watch this one more time after you like the video and see it for yourself. Bada bing, bada boom.